Welcome everybody. Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own homes. My name's Dora. We're going to be using a brick today, if you have one. So one of these. Don't worry too much if you don't. And a yoga mat. So let's come and sit. Begin sitting. Now this can be any seated pose that you like. Perhaps you want to come and sit on your brick or a couple of cushions so that the spine can be tall and supported without having to use too much muscular effort from the thighs and the core to hold yourself upright. I'm just going to start by rubbing the palms of the hands together, creating a little bit of heat from the energy of movement. And we'll begin with Brahmari breath, which is the humming breath, making a humming sound on the exhalation. We don't need to force the breath, and you don't need to coordinate the sound of your breath with mine. So we'll just keep this rolling for a few rounds. You take an inhale. Keep going. Maybe 2 more times. Placing your left hand onto the center of the chest, your right hand onto the lower belly. Close your eyes. And the energy you've created within the palms of the hands as you hold yourself tenderly, just feeling the breath beneath the palms. Feel the vibration through the cellular body through Brahmari breath. So we are stimulating the pituitary and pineal gland, toning the vagus nerve that innervates the larynx with the vibration of Brahmari breath. Brahmari breath helps to calm a rajasic mind and rajasic depression, so anxiety-driven depression. And by elongating the exhalation in this way, you might have been surprised at how long your exhalation can be. We stimulate the parasympathetic activity of the nervous system, which takes us into a state of rest and repair. And let's bring the palms together now, and as you press right and left palms together gently, let the elbows float up. Draw the front, back and sides of the body towards your midline. Press right and left palms together gently. Feel the pelvic floor lift. Notice if the buttocks are engaging. See if you can release them. And then interlace your fingers and bring the forearms together. Start to rotate the wrists in one direction. I think more of the forearms gliding over one another here. Just breathing naturally. And then you can speed this up, getting a little bit more fluidity through the joints. And come to stillness and change the interlace of your fingers. So you have the opposite little finger on the outside. Rotate in the opposite direction, which may feel a little bit more awkward. We tend to be quite habitual in our ways of doing things. The forearms glide over one another, and see if you can speed that up a little bit too. Extend your arms out in front of you, palms face one another. Draw the elbow bones back into the sockets and cross your right wrist over your left. Turn the palms, Urdhva Hastasana. Press the palms together. Take an inhale as you raise the arms. Retain the breath if that's comfortable for you to do so. Lifting the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Lowering the chin slightly, Jalandhara Bandha. So you're containing prana within your torso. You're holding the breath if that's comfortable for you. Please let it go if you need to, if you feel lightheaded or claustrophobic. And then interlacing the fingers again as you exhale, let the breath go. Bend the elbows so the wrists hover above the crown of the head. Press the elbows back, just breathe naturally. And notice here if you're propping yourself up too much. So if you're lifting out of your seat and the ribcage is extending, losing your pranic energy, or if you're collapsing. If you're collapsing, press down to the sit bones, give yourself a little bit more uplift. If you're propping, soften the lower ribs towards the back of the waist and keep the pelvis dropping down. So finding that balance between propping and collapsing. Reach your arms up on your next inhale. Take the palms forward, curl the knuckles towards the heart and take the forearms forward. You've got like an elephant's trunk pose here. Don't overdo this, it's quite strong for the wrists. Turn the knuckles back towards the heart. Reach forward, release, and turn the palms to face one another. Pull the arm bones back into the sockets, left wrist over right. Turn the palms, press the palms, take an inhale. Lifting the breath into the chest, retain the breath. Melt the shoulders. Lift the pelvic floor, lower the chin so you've engaged your two bandhas. And interlacing your fingers, let the breath go as you exhale, bend the elbows, press the elbows back. Wrists are hovering over the crown of the head, just soften the focus of your eyes. Reaching up again on your inhale, take the arms forward, curl the knuckles towards the heart and extend forward. Knuckles turn back towards the heart, extend, release. Take the arms out to the sides, palms facing up as if the backs of the hands were sliding along a slippery surface. And then angle the hands or fingers down. So as if you're pressing the walls away, really extending through your longest finger. So stretch through the fascia of the forearms. Take a big inhale as you raise your arms up and exhale, draw your thumbs down towards your heart. If you're sitting on a prop, take this out of the way and just come to sit on the shins, if that's possible, in Thunderbolt pose. Take an inhale as you float the arms out and up. As you exhale, draw the thumbs towards the heart. Twist and take the right elbow onto the top of the thigh or to the outside of the thigh. Lift away from your thighs, so you're not collapsing and just hanging out here, but neither are you using too much leverage against that leg to force the twist. So somewhere in between. Spine as long as you breathe, draw the shoulder blades down the back, lift the heart towards the thumbs. And then lifting the elbow off a little bit, Take the right hand onto the floor, the left arm extends into a little twist. As you lift your hips off your heels, walk your right hand forward, separate the knees a little bit, and then this left arm is going to sweep through, threading the needle, bring the side of the shoulder, maybe the side of the face to the floor, little twist for the upper body. Use your right hand to support the neck, couple of breaths here. Press the tops of your ankles towards the floor. You're not just balancing on your knee joints. And press into your right palm to make your way back up onto hands and knees. Bring the shins together again. Come and sit down on your heels. Let your body drape over your thighs. Little modified child's pose. Curl your way up to sit on the heels as the fingers trace back. Take a big inhale as you raise your arms. Exhale, thumbs to the heart. Come forward about a third of the way. Left elbow comes onto the top or to the outside of your right thigh. Lift your heart towards the thumbs. Draw the shoulder blades down the back as you breathe. Back of the neck is long. Front of the throat is soft. Lift your elbow off the thigh. Give yourself a bit of height. Left hand comes to the floor. Right arm extends out behind you. Find this diagonal line through from fingertip to fingertip. And as you lift your hips, creep the left hand forward. Separate the knees a little bit for more stability. And sweep your right arm through. Maybe you're settling onto the side of the shoulder. Use the back of that right arm even to support you. And the left hand to support your neck also. Couple of breaths here. And pressing down into your left palm. Make your way up onto both hands and knees. Tuck your toes behind the knees. Come and sit down onto the heels. Stretch your arms forward so you set your hands for your down dog. Just keeping the head off the floor for a moment. Curl the tricep muscles towards one another. Head and neck in line with the spine. Really plant the palms down with the pinkies touching the outer edges of your mat. And take an inhale, coming up onto hands and knees. Exhale, float the knees off the floor. Half downward facing dog. So with the knees bent, you can find that pelvic tilt that frees up the lower back. Spread the weight across the metatarsals. Take a couple of breaths here. And then lowering the knees to the floor. Come and sit back onto the heels. You can keep the toes tucked for a moment. Inhale, come back up onto hands and knees. Exhale, float the knees off the floor. Lead with your sit bones. Maybe this time you're unfolding the legs a little bit more. Softening the heels. Soften the elbows. And you can walk through your legs here, bending one knee and then the other, easing into the backs of the legs. Lovely. Maybe raising both heels together on the inhale. Exhale, sinking your heels. 2 more times. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last time, inhale. Exhale. And pushing the mat forward as you walk your hands back towards your feet, arriving at the back of your mat. With your feet about 2 fists apart, let your head go. Notice if you're holding your head, even subtly around the back of the skull, around the occiput or the base of the neck. And sliding your hands onto the feet. Slide the hands up the shins underneath the knees, coming into a flat back. Draw the shoulder blades up the back. Sit down a little more as if there was a stool behind you and reach your arms forward just to shoulder level. Draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Rise all the way up as you inhale and exhale. Walk yourself forward towards the front of the mat. Bring your feet together. Big toe joints to touch heels slightly apart, hands to the heart in prayer. Tadasana. Take a big inhale as you float your arms out and up. Exhale, bend the knees, draw your thumbs towards your heart. We're going to twist here, taking the left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Sit back a little bit more. Find that balance between too little and too much effort. You can look down or look towards your right elbow as you breathe. Options here, stay here. Second stage, open up the arms, left fingertips to the floor, right arm rises. Third stage, if you're feeling quite feisty today, pick up your left toes. So the knees stay glued together. So it's a one-legged Utkatasana twist. Take the foot back to the floor, hands back into prayer, look down, release the fingertips to the floor and fold. Press the heels down, lift the sit bones. You can keep a softness in the knees. Step back with your left toes into your lunge. Lower your back knee down onto the floor, push into the front foot and float your arms forward. Draw the elbows back into the sockets. Cross left wrist over right, turn the palms, press the palms. Reach up as you inhale. Maybe take the hips a little bit further forward. Urdhva Hastasana. Lift the ribcage off the waist, curl over to the right as you exhale. Come back through to the center. Curl over to the left as you exhale. Inhale, come back through to the center. Fly forward here. Lift the hips up and back. You might place the palms one on top of the other on the foot. It's a little bit of a balance. You might be wobbling here. If you need more stability, take the hands out to the sides. Or any other variation of Ardha Hanumanasana that works for you this morning. Lift yourself back up, plant the palms either side of the front foot, lift the back knee, step back into a high plank. Take the weight through the spine. Turn the inner eyes of your elbows towards one another. Lower knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale, draw through. Exhale, lift your navel. Tuck your toes, down facing dog. Step your left foot a little closer to your right. If you like that adjustment, take your right leg up behind you, straight from the floor. Press the ball of the foot away. Take an inhale. Exhale, come forward, knee to nose. Come onto your right fingertips. Lift a little higher to make space so you can step your right foot forward gracefully. Come onto the left fingertips so the shoulders are level, and then glide your back foot forward to fold. Take an inhale, come all the way up to standing. As you exhale, bend the knees, sit down into Utkatasana, thumbs to the heart. Twist and take the right elbow to the outside. You may want to stay here. Go a little bit further, opening up the arms. Or maybe gluing the knees together, picking up your right toes. Little balance. Take the toes back to the floor, hands to the heart in prayer, look down, reach down, release the crown of the head to the earth. Step back with your right toes into your lunge. Lower your back knee down, push into the front foot, float your arms forward, draw the arm bones back into the sockets. Right wrist over left, turn the palms, press the palms, reach up, soften the elbows so the shoulders can relax. Maybe take the hips forward a little bit. Lift out of the waist, curl over to the right, exhale. Come back through to the center. Exhale, curl over to the left. Come back through to the center. Lift your sit bones, lie back. Let one hand rest on the other on the foot. Or take the hands a little bit wider if you need more stability. Couple of breaths here. And as you come back up, take the hands either side of the front foot, lift your back knee, step back into a high plank. Softening the elbows, lower knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale, draw through. Exhale, lift your navel. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So step the right foot a little closer to the left. Float your left leg up behind you. Inhale. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Come onto the left fingertips. Step the foot forward. Come onto the right fingertips. Glide your back foot forward to fold. And come all the way up to standing as you inhale. Bring the palms together and slightly forward, so you might look up towards the thumbs. Slide the shoulder blades down the back and lift the heart vertically up. So there's an essence of a back bend here. Still the body as you take your fingertips to the floor and fold. Exhale, inhale, step out with your left toes. Push into the front foot, float your arms forward. Narrow the pelvic bones, left wrist over right, turn the palms, reaching up. Lift up and bend over to the right, maybe just a little bit. Exhale. Inhale back through to the center and over to the left. Inhale back through to the center. Take your back heel down, left heel down. Keep your right knee pressing back. Just turn the shoulders towards the long edge of your mat. Lift up and over, little reverse warrior. And come back through to the center. Open up the arms here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, right arm comes across, left arm over. Just clearing the body with the arms. Inhale, come up. A little bit of work for the core and the waist. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back into your warrior two. So this is where your brick might be handy. You would, if you have one, place it on its highest level inside the right foot by the ankle. As you exhale, take the right hand onto the brick, left arm rises, Parsvakonasana. You might have the hand on the shin if you don't have a prop available. So you could have your hand here, or fingertips on the floor. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, straighten the front leg and reach your arm over your head towards the Trikonasana, the variation of. Bend the knee, reach up. Inhale. Exhale, stretch over. Inhaling, coming back. Exhale, stretching over. Inhaling, coming back. Move the brick out of the way a little bit so that you can rise up and turn the right toes in. Reach the arms up by your ears. As you look up, cross the wrists again so you have your right wrist closer to you. Turn the palms, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Spin the heels in and bend the knees into your wide-legged squat here. Press the palms together, nose strong, keep breathing. Pelvic floor lifts. And then rising up, depending on how long you are, toes in or heels out. Coming forward, reach the arms through your legs, soften the knees, reach back towards the tips of the little fingers. Lengthening forward, bring the fingertips onto the earth so they're underneath the shoulders. And then let your spine release as the navel lifts towards the spine. Let yourself fold over. Softening the knees a little bit and taking the weight into the outer edges of your feet. If you're really good at this, keep your big toe joints grounded. Walking yourself around towards the right foot, back in a lunge, root down through the legs so you can float the fingertips off, maybe take the hands underneath the heart. Lift the chest a little bit more. Twist and take the left elbow to the outside of the thigh. Lean the shoulder blades back a little bit. Take the weight through the pelvis and into the ball of your back foot. A couple of breaths here. And taking the hands to the floor, step back into a high plank. If you would like to take Chaturanga up dog, go ahead, or stay with me, knees, chest and chin. Through into Cobra. Lift your navel, tuck your toes down, facing dog. Step your left foot a little closer to your right, float the right leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Hop up onto your right fingertips. Step your right foot forward, left fingertips to level the shoulders. Glide your back foot forward to fold. Take an inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Palms slightly in front, so you might want to look up without shortening the back of the neck. Lift the heart vertically towards the sky, so an essence of a back bend here. Sit bones and heels descend. Still your body, take the fingertips to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, step back with your right toes. Root down through the feet. Float your arms forward, palms face one another. Cross right wrist over left. Turn the palms. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Lift the ribcage off the waist, curl over to the left. Exhale. Back through to the center. Inhale, over to the right. Back through to the center. Bring your back heel down, right heel down. Rotate the shoulders to the long edge of your mat. Lift up and over, little curling back here into a reverse warrior. As you come back, open up your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left arm comes across, right arm over. And changing, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, reaching out, warrior two. Take your hand onto your brick, if you have one, inside of the ankle, raising up your right arm, Parsvakonasana. Inhale here, exhale, begin to straighten the front leg, suck the thigh bone back, arm comes over by the cheek. And inhale, reach up, bending the knee. So you're moving between Trikonasana on the exhale, back into Parsvakonasana on the inhale. One more time. Move the brick slightly forward so that when you come to stand up, it's not in your way as you turn your left toes forward. Reach up. If you look up, bring the left wrist closer to you. Turn the palms. Take the gaze back through to the center. Spin your heels in a little bit. Bend your knees. Sit down. Keep the carriage of the head over the heart. Press the palms together. Create a little bit of tension between the hands. And then as you rise up, depending on how wide you are, toes in or heels out, sweep the arms through the legs. Reaching back, lift the navel, look towards the pinky fingers. Reach your heart forward, coming onto the tips of the fingers so the spine is long. And then softening the knees as you walk your hands back towards your toes. Maybe just turn your head from side to side, noticing any accumulative tension in the neck or base of the skull. And then walking yourself around towards your left foot, so you're in a lunge. Make sure the back heel arrives so it's invisible to you. It's hiding behind the widest part of your foot. Push down to the feet. Bring the thumbs underneath the heart. Lift your chest a little bit more, twist, and as you twist, pull the left hip back, right elbow onto the top or to the outside of the thigh. Lean the shoulder blades back as if you're making a little bit of space between the belly and the inner thigh. Couple of breaths here. Press top palm down onto the bottom. And then taking the hands to the floor, step back into a high plank. Lowering knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale, draw through. Or any other vinyasa that you prefer. And take it back into your downward facing dog. Step the right foot closer to the left. Float your left leg up behind you. Inhale, exhale, knee to nose. Come onto the left fingertips, step your left foot forward. Come onto the right fingertips and glide your back foot forward to fold. Take an inhale as you come all the way up to standing. And exhale, sit down into Utkatasana here. Take the right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. So we're here again. This time you're going to press your knee towards your elbow, make contact there. Shift the weight onto the right foot and lift up your left heel. And with pressing that knee towards the elbow, perhaps you can lift the navel and come up here into a twist. Elbow connected to knee. Maybe hold the leg where it is, open up the arms, right arm forward, left arm back. And as you sweep the left arm down by your side, turn your shoulders towards the front. Bend your supporting leg, maybe extend the left leg forward. Taking it back, take the fingertips to the floor. Lovely, and here you're going to take your brick again, take it inside the ankle, so your left hand can come onto the brick. Lift the shoulders, reach your right arm forward by your ear. Right arm comes down, you're going to take your hips up and back and sweep the arm up as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, arm comes back the way it came. Inhaling, a variation of twisted triangle. Exhale. One more time. Inhaling, inflating the hips up and back. Exhale. As you lower your back knee down, place your brick onto its lowest level, or hands can come to the floor here. Again, you can sweep the arm back, take the hips back, twist, and maybe this time lift the front toes. Couple of breaths. Coming back onto the foot. Lose the brick. Take the hands either side or fingertips either side of the foot. Lift your back knee. Take the right hand to the inside of the foot and walk yourself around into a wide-legged fold. Come up onto the tips of the fingers as you inhale. Bend the knees and hop the feet together. Come and sit down. Excellent. Drop the knees a little bit so the thigh bones are perpendicular to the floor. Take your hands to your heart in prayer. Soften the focus of your eyes. Imagine that your spine was resting on the wall behind you. Okay, little twist. Right elbow to the outside. So with a little bit of a balance here. Knees glued together. Fingertips to the floor, a little wider than your shoulders. Lift the heels high, lift the knees towards the cheeks. So you're right up onto the balls of your feet. And then lift your sit bones towards the sky. Maybe heels stay high. Soften your heels to the floor. Bend your knees and hop your feet wide again. Walking your fingertips back as you fold. Walking yourself around towards your right foot. Glide your back foot forward to fold. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale. And exhale, sit down into Utkatasana, thumbs to the heart. Twist, taking your left elbow to the outside of the knee or the thigh. And then press your knee out towards the elbow, so there's a relationship there. Pull the weight into the left foot and leg, raise your right heel, and then keep pressing out with the knee as you rise upwards here into a twist. You could open up the arms, left arm forward, right arm back. Sweep your right arm down by your side. Bend the supporting leg, maybe extend the right leg. Step back and take the fingertips to the floor. Have your brick, if you have one, take it inside of the foot. Right hand onto the brick, arm is straight. The left arm sweeps forward by your ear. Inhale, sweep the arm down and up, inflate the hips behind you. Exhale, bend the knee and square the shoulders. 2 more times, inhaling. Exhaling. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale. Lower your back knee, turn the brick onto its lowest edge or lose it completely. Sweep the arm back, turn the chest, take the hips back. Maybe lift the front toes. Diagonal line through space with your arms. And taking the arm over, hands come either side of the front foot or fingertips even. Lift the back knee, left hand to the inside. Walk yourself around into a wide-legged fold. Come onto the tips of the fingers. Bend your knees, and as if you were going to suspend in the air before you sit down, hop and jump the feet together. Bring the thumbs to the heart, lower the knees. Just let your back rest against an imaginary wall behind you. And then take a twist, left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Heart towards the thumbs. Try to keep the knees in line and glued together. When you're going to wobble, this is great for strengthening the ankle joints. Come back to the center. Release the fingertips to the floor. Lift your knees high towards the cheeks. Come right up onto the balls of your feet. Lift your sit bones towards the sky. Soften your heels to the floor. Bend your knees and then hop your feet wide again, walking the hands back. If you're very, very flexible, the crown of the head is on the floor, bring your feet a little closer towards one another. And think of angling or lengthening the sit bones down towards the heels. If you're not as flexible, then lift your sit bones towards the sky and take your legs a little bit wider. Walking yourself over towards the left, back into your lunge, and glide the back foot forward to fold. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale, and exhale, draw your thumbs down towards your heart. Let's separate the feet hip distance apart, release the arms down, and come back into that parallel squat that we had earlier. Utkatasana, just arms out to shoulder level. Perhaps you can descend a little bit further, maybe a little bit further still, maybe all the way down to the heels. You could rock back here, so move the chest inside, squeeze the knees towards the elbows, palms together into prayer. Maybe the toes float off, Maybe you come into a half boat pose. Create that tension, that relationship between the elbows and the inner knees. And then release the feet to the floor. Reaching up as you inhale. Maybe cross the thumbs to keep the palms together. And then exhale, thumbs to the heart. Release the hands. And just come to straighten the legs here. If you have a brick, you may take it to the soles of the feet across there. And just sweep along the length of your hamstrings so you can feel the sit bones rooting down. Take the fingertips to the floor or palms of the hands by your hips. Dandasana. So this is already your forward bend. You can find that 90-degree angle between your legs and your torso. And root down through the palms as if you were trying to lift your sit bones off the floor. Reach your arms up as you inhale. As you exhale, come forward just a little bit, so hinging from the hips. As if I'm holding onto your wrists, lift up, reach up out of the pelvis as you inhale, come forward a little bit more on the exhale. One more time, reach up, lift out of the hips. And exhale, this time hands float onto the shins, the ankles, or you might take a hold of the edges of your brick. Now your Paschimottanasana may be here, a lot higher, and that's totally fine. Wherever you are, see if you can come into a place of relative stillness. There's going to always be the movement of the breath. Noticing any resistance in the mind to being here, to being still. And the sensation here wants to be interesting rather than overwhelming, so you can be here for a good few breaths. Slowly make our way up out of this by walking the hands back towards us. Bend the knees, place the feet to the floor, and bring your sit bones towards the heels so you're quite close towards the front edge of your mat. Roll yourself down onto your back. Lovely. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. Wiggle the feet together. Draw the knees towards the chest. And keeping the tailbone down for a moment, stretch your legs up. Fan out the toes. Legs are vertical. Don't worry if your knees are bent. And then take your hands onto the backs of your thighs. And you're going to use your hands to glide up the backs of the legs, to curl up the tailbone and roll the legs over into a soft plow. So maybe hands come towards the soles of the feet and then roll down. It's fine if the knees are bent. Slide the hands up the backs of the legs, coming into a plow. And roll yourself down. So it's almost like a supine Paschimottanasana here that we've just done. And then rolling down. Lovely. Draw your knees towards you. Hands or arms can be out to the sides, or if stronger for the shoulders, fingertips behind the back of the skull. And take the knees twice over towards the right before we settle them down. So taking an inhale here, exhale, roll your knees to the right. Inhale, bring them back. Exhale, roll your knees to the right. Inhale, take them back. Exhale. So we're going the same way 3 times. Settle the knees to the floor. Relax the feet. Spread across the shoulder blades. If it feels too much to have the fingers behind the skull, you can reopen the arms. Face just turning towards the ceiling, or turning the the gaze towards the left elbow, just cupping the occiput with your left hand. And breathing behind the navel. Squeeze the knees as you draw them back to the center. And we'll take 2 rocks of the knees towards the left before we place them down. So take an inhale, exhale, knees to the left, maybe about halfway. Inhale, or even less, come back. So using your core muscles more than your back muscles, exhale, inhale. Exhale, taking the knees all the way over. Spread the shoulder blades. Gaze can be towards the sky. And if it's different on this side for either one of your shoulders, just adjust or adapt your arms. Maybe turn your head towards the right elbow, just cupping the base of your skull with your hand there. And breathing behind the navel. Take the knees back through to the center. Place the feet to the floor, hip distance apart. Just gently lift the skull off the earth with the fingertips. And then let the head rest into the fingertips there. And you might just rock your head from side to side to get a little massage around those two kind of bulbous points at the back of your skull. Slide the fingers up the back of the skull. Release the head down and reach your arms back. So the arms are by the ears. Sweep the arms down by your sides to a low V shape. And your Shavasana here could be with the feet a little bit wider, knees dropping in to touch one another. Or the lower back may feel comfortable enough to stretch the legs forward. Making sure you're comfortable and warm. Snuggle yourself down into the earth and take an inhalation through the nose. Sighing out through the mouth. 2 more breaths in this way. And with each exhalation, just allowing any residual holding or tension to flow out of the body and into the earth. Soften the face. Notice if there are any pockets of tension that you can dissolve so as to receive gravity more fully. If there's any subtle letting go that can be had. And allow yourself to rest here in Shavasana for the last few minutes of your practice, receiving the benefits of all your efforts this lunchtime. you may wish to stay in Shavasana a little longer. If you wish to conclude your practice with myself, then just begin to make your way back into the physical body. If you may wish to stay in Shavasana a little longer. Come back to your breath. If you wish to conclude your practice with myself, then just begin to make your way back into the physical body. Ready to make your way over to the right side. Back to your breath. Complete your practice with myself. Comfortable seat. Make your way back